Good morning. This morning we parked up at Gatesgarth Farm and we're heading towards Warnscale Bottom and we're heading up onto Haystacks, but it's a route that I've only been able to find in Wainwright's book, and he mentions a very old quarry path that heads straight up from Warnscale Bottom to Warnscale Bothy. It's an old miner's track. Apparently it's very unused, but there are numerous kens to direct you up the way, and it follows the Beck, and it's supposed to be quite rough ground, and it heads right under the crags. So I've not been able to find out any other information about it, so we'll see what it's like. And I guess if you're watching this, you know that we've not had a huge boulder fall down from the crags from on top of us. So it should be an interesting route. Didn't even know about this way until I read it the other week, so got to come and check it out, haven't we? This is our beautiful view. There's Haystacks. So there's Buttermere over there, and you've got the high style range. So you've got red pike, high style, high crag, heading over to Haystacks. So we've got around the corner and you can actually see the path. So I don't know how used it is. It looks like it is probably quite a used route, because you can see a clear path zigzagging on the right hand side of the Beck there, and then underneath those crags, so like that, and then underneath those crags heading over to the quarry where the Bothy is. So Warnscale Bothy is a lovely, really small old miner's hut, and a lot of people use it to camp in overnight. It actually has a fire that you can have, and it's really cute. I think it's quite an iconic building. A lot of people know about it, and there's a window with a perfect framed picture of looking down to Buttermere Lake. So our path heads off away from the usual path, which goes up on the left hand side. We're going to head here on to the right, and we're going to ford the Beck across a bridge, hopefully. So we're just going to do a wee detour to these lovely waterfalls. There's one further up, but that's not on our route. I'm pretty sure this is where you've got the infinity pool up along here somewhere. Not been to it, but it's very popular on Instagram now. So yeah, there's a really good clear path to it now. So yeah, I'll show you in a bit these lovely waterfalls. So this is the infinity pool. Look at that, lovely deep pool. You can just rest on that ledge there and look down at that fantastic view of Buttermere. So we just had a detour to the infinity pool and those fantastic waterfalls. Absolutely amazing. And we're now on the quarry path, so I'll show you. Top path. I don't really think we can go wrong. There's cairns along it, and that's the view back. This is like the gateway to Mordor, isn't it? Through these boulders. You can hear peregrines flying up ahead over there. We're in this up on them crags somewhere. Really is like a setting of Lord of the Rings here. These steep crags, steep gullies. You've got fantastic ferns amongst the rocks there, and hawthorns clinging to the rocks and the crags. That's Haystacks. Looking up to High Crag, High Style, Buttermere, and the light is fantastic now. We've got Fleetwood Pike here. That would be Fleetwood Edge. And our route just traverses underneath these crags up to Blackbeck Tarn. The ravine of Warnscale Beck, Fleetwood Pike. So looking across, that is the other path from Warnscale Bottom you can do on the left hand side of the beck. heading along up there on top of that waterfall. But you wouldn't get to see that fantastic waterfall from that side like you do here. Nearing Warnscale Bothy now. So just crossing this little gill. We've got a nice mountain ash there, rowan tree. So the path ends up being quite indistinct once you cross a stream. There's a path heading straight up. I wouldn't do that. Cross the little stream and you aim for the ravine on the left, and you literally skirt the flanks of the ravine, heading straight up, and you'll eventually get to Warnscale Bothy, which is just above on the ledge. You come to a defined track that is cairned, and the Bothy is literally just above us on the right hand side of this path. And there's the ravine on the left. What do you think, Billy? So there's Warnscale Bothy, just nestled on a ledge behind a quarry, and you've got the view of Haystacks and Buttermere. What a lovely location. So it's a good quarry track that comes up from Warnscale Bottom. It's not hard at all, just a little bit rough underfoot. It's all stone. And then just before you get to Warnscale Bothy, there is no path, so it's a bit just, it's a faint trod, to be fair. There's a faint trod, and as I say, you head around towards the ravine and then you'll see the Bothy up on a ledge above you. But yeah, it's a fantastic setting. Look at that. It's difficult to see it from a distance because it blends in so well with its surroundings. So when you leave the Bothy, you literally there's a path heading straight up, and it should top us out somewhere around Green Crag near to Blackbeck Tarn, I think, if I remember rightly. So we've topped out in between Little Round How and Green Crag. That's Green Crag there. This is the main path that will take you to Blackbeck Tarn, Innominate Tarn and Haystacks, which is a really good stony track. Stepping stones where it's boggy, Just looking over to Grey Knots and Brandreth in the distance. Got Great Round Howe in the foreground. You've got Great Gable and Kirk Fell. Just thought I'd come over and show you Blackbeck Tarn. Fantastic mountain scenery on this path. You really feel like you're right up in the mountains where you are. Even though it's not the highest mountain, it's so dramatic. So the path heads up around the side of the crag. Innominate Tarn is just on the top there.
Morning, fella. Stayed out yet? Stayed him out.
So this is Innominate Tarn. This is where Wainrights' ashes were scattered, as it was his favourite place. You can see why. So Innominate Tarn is my favourite place in the Lake District. You've got Great Gable looming large like a pudding, upside down pudding. And it's just so peaceful right now. So the summit of Haystacks. Let's get up there. Looking over the Coldale Horseshoe, Buttermere, High Crag. You've got a nice little town down there. That would be Pillar in the distance, and you've got Ennerdale. There's two cairns on this mountain. It's the furthest cairn that is the summit, or the Wainwright summit. Even though that looks higher from here, this is the highest point. Is that right, Andy?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the summit.
You've got Great Gable and Kirk Fell. So we're leaving Haystack Summit and we think a westerly direction to head down to Scarth Gap. So this is the scramble bit down. I'm hoping it doesn't go for very long. Doesn't look too bad. And then the path heads around, I think, in that direction, down to Scarth Gap. So that is part of the scramble route. Andy just informed me this is the easy section. Jesus, that was bad enough. Yeah, that's the way down. That's a bit of a scramble. And the path is kenned. That's part of the second scramble. And that's the last bit of the scramble, and then we're done.
Well, it isn't. There's another bit down there.
Oh, thanks for that. Cracking views though this way. So this is the last scrambling section, and then it's not so bad after that. Oh, that was tricky for me, that. Oh. Right, just the last few steps on this bad section. It wasn't too bad actually. There was probably about 4 sections. So if I can do it, I think anyone can do it. So we're now at Scarth Gap. So this is heading down Scarth Gap, and you've got great views over Buttermere. You've got Robinson there and Haystacks. Then you've got Whiteless Pike heading over Whiteless Edge onto Wandope. You've got Grassmoor behind and Eel Crag. The light's lovely right now. That's looking back to Haystacks. And you've got Fleetwood Pike. Got a lighting. Robinson, Haystacks. I'm just heading down Scarth Gap now. So you can see our route. There's Warnscale Bottom, and we came in from Gatesgarth Farm, which is there, around to the Beck, and there's a bridge that you can cross, and you can just see our track heading on the right hand side, heading around them crags to Warnscale Bothy. Yeah, you can see the path better now, heading and zigzagging along to Warnscale Bothy. So our route's going to be about 4.5 miles, so it's not a long route at all, but you really do feel like having a full day in the mountains. It's fantastic. You've got the crags that you head under towards Warnscale Bothy. You've got the lovely pools and the waterfalls of Warnscale Beck, and it's very mountainous and rugged heading onto Haystacks. And then you've got a scramble coming down, so it's a really good route. So I hope you enjoy the video. I'm going to say goodbye because we're nearly back at the valley. So say bye, Andy.
Goodbye. See you next time.
There's Billy. Bye for now. Catch you again on another adventure very soon. Thank you. So you can see Fleetwood Edge clearly now onto Fleetwood Pike. Good morning and welcome to Map and Scissor Time, and this is a route for Haystacks from Gatesgarth Farm, and it's a lovely route. It's only about 4.5 miles, but it takes you on some very dramatic scenery, and you also have the bit of a scramble on the way down to Scarth Gap, so it is quite a mountainous feeling walk. So you park at Gatesgarth Farm in a good sized car park, charges do apply, and you head up the road for about 100 yards, and then you take the public footpath following around to Warnscale Bottom on a good track, and you're following along Warnscale Beck, and you come to this junction here. Now most people would go up this path up to Haystacks. We have never done this path on this side of Warnscale Beck before. It's in Wainrights' book as a route, and it's an old miner's track, and it's a really good stony track all the way up, and you cross the river here, so you cross the beck here on a footbridge, and you head up alongside towards the infinity pool. It's quite popular on Instagram now, this infinity pool, but you get a lovely view whilst in the pool right on the ledge looking down to Buttermere. So you can have a wee dip on a nice hot day, and then you follow the path up on the track, and it just meanders upwards steadily underneath these crags, heading towards Warnscale Bothy. Now the path gets a bit indistinct as soon as you cross this beck here, and there's not much of a track, so you're heading towards this ravine. It's quite a steep craggy ravine here. You're heading towards that, and then you'll come across a path heading up towards the Bothy, which I think that's there on the map, that little building here. It's right on a ledge, but it is camouflaged against this background, so you do have to look out for it. The Bothy's here on a ledge, and it's worth a detour just to have a look. You can stay here overnight. There is a fire, but I think it is quite smoky when you light it, so I'm not quite sure how safe it is. But it's just a lovely view down towards Buttermere, and you head straight up from the Bothy on a bit of a faint trod, aiming for this junction here. This is the path where you would come in from Honester Slate Mine. You come to this junction and you head over this way towards Blackbeck Tarn, and then you cross the outflow, and it starts to get quite mountainous here. You're heading up, aiming for Innominate Tarn, which is a lovely setting. This is where Wainrights' ashes were scattered. It's a really lovely place just to sit just for a while. And you continue along up to the summit of Haystacks, 597 metres. It's the furthest cairn. There's two cairns, one side, one further side. That's the furthest one is the Wainrights summit and the highest point. Now you find a tarn and you want to head down from the summit, head towards the tarn and continue along, and you are on a scramble route down towards Scarth Gap. There's about 4 sections of scrambling. It's not too bad really, just a bit steep. And you get to the coal here and you head down the valley, Scarth Gap Pass, following the route back to Gatesgarth Farm. Got a lovely view here up the valley of Haystacks and back to the farm. So it's a 4.5 mile route. Hope you enjoy the video. Catch you all again on another adventure very soon. Bye for now.